Hello and welcome to Weekly Wisdom. My name is Mark Van Buren, and today I'd like to talk about the practice of Tonglen. Tonglen is a Tibetan Buddhist practice that can be done both in seated meditation and out in daily life. And because most of our lives is not in seated meditation, today I'd like to talk more about how to practice Tonglen in daily life. Tonglen is the practice of sending and receiving. So what is it that we're receiving? We're receiving the suffering of all people, or of the person that we're seeing in daily life. And then what are we sending? We're sending out relief to that suffering. So for example, if you have a family member who's ill and you're going to visit them, a great practice you can do is this sending and receiving. So what do? So as you're sitting there, you can imagine yourself breathing in their suffering. So all the suffering of the illness. Imagine yourself breathing it in through your nose, right into your heart. And then imagine it being transformed and you send them out relief. So it's something that you can do anywhere and everywhere with any situation. Anything that makes you uncomfortable, you breathe in the discomfort of that. And you can imagine that you're breathing in the discomfort of all people. So if you have anxiety or depression and you're feeling it fully one day, you can breathe in everybody's anxiety and depression. And it's as if that when you breathe in, you're stealing that suffering from them. You're taking that suffering from them, and then you're sending out relief from that suffering. So it's a great practice, and it has two aspects of it. One, we're training ourselves to pull in suffering, to get used to being uncomfortable and to get used to suffering, which is something that's very unordinary compared to what we normally do, which is try to escape it, try to run away from it. So we're breathing in suffering, we're cultivating fearlessness, we're saying, hey, I feel this way, and I know a lot of other people feel this way, so I'm going to breathe it in, I'm going to take it away from everyone and feel it fully. It's almost as if by you feeling it, you're freeing everybody else from it. And then again, you're cultivating the compassion, that's the other aspect of it, by sending out relief. And you're not only thinking of yourself, you're thinking of all people experiencing whatever you're experiencing. Again, it could be a sick loved one, it can be anxiety. Any problem in life can be used with this practice. And again, you're taking in the suffering, you're sending out relief. Now you can also use this on the other end of the spectrum. If things are going very well, if you're feeling healthy, if you're super happy or joyful one day, you can breathe in the joy and then send it out with the hopes that all beings can feel this. So it's just this practice of sharing and of taking and of sending and receiving. It can be done anytime, anywhere. It's so practical too, and especially when you're dealing with someone who's sick or someone who's suffering and you feel like you really can't help them. You feel like maybe they're not taking your advice, or obviously an illness, there's not much you can do about that. So what can you do is this practice of Tonglen. And whether or not it affects the person is not as important for how it affects your mind and what you're cultivating. Is it possible that you can breathe someone's suffering away? Possibly, just like it's possible that prayers can affect an outcome of a patient. But what's more important is that you're cultivating a peaceful mind that's not afraid of suffering, that's not afraid to help others that are suffering, and that's not afraid to share joy, to share happiness, to share peace. And of course, you're cultivating compassion for other people by sending them relief. So it's a really great practice that you can apply anytime, anywhere. So anytime this week, when you notice that you're feeling good, when you're having a good day, think about all the people that might not be having a good day and send them that happiness, send them that joy. And on the other end of the spectrum, anytime this week where you're going through a difficulty or you're experiencing something painful or traumatic, see if you can breathe that trauma in, breathe that difficulty in, and send out relief to all other people experiencing the same thing. Thank you all for watching today. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.